Well, good morning and welcome to Travel Marketeering Saturday Session. I am your host, Joshua Harrell. Happen to be the Chief Revenue Officer at World Via Travel Network, the premier host agency in America. I'm liking that title. Anyway, welcome. I know some of you have been here before, so welcome back. If you have not been here before, let me tell you a little bit about travel marketeering. Travel marketeering is all about selling your travel products and services with systems. So let's take the art out of marketing that sometimes makes it very unattainable and also makes it sometimes that project that you just want to put off to the side and deal with later. Like I need time to be artistic. We're dispelling that every single week. We're dispelling that and we're tackling marketing through systems to make it easier as an entrepreneur. You are the chief sales officer, you are the chief marketing officer, you are the chief operations officer, you are the chief financial officer, you're the chief technology officer, you're everything. You're every woman. So you're everything. You cannot be the marketer all the time. So if we create systems, we can see what we can set it up, we can see what works, see what doesn't, turn down the things that don't work, and turn up the things that do work. So that is what we do with travel marketeering. So I am so happy you're along for the ride. Most Saturdays, I am here live to talk about all things marketing. We do pick a topic, try to discuss that in full. But the thing about joining us live or joining me live, I'm talking about myself in the royal we. That is not acceptable. If you are joining me live, what really makes these sessions powerful is your questions and talking about the things that matter to you. If I'm talking about something and you're like, oh, how would that apply in my business? Because uh, I only do Antarctica trips. How would this apply to me? Those types of questions are fantastic because I guarantee you the people who are watching live or watching this on demand on our YouTube channel are saying, you know what? I was curious about that too. Now I see how that fits. So don't be shy. Ask questions. The chat is live. Love to help you out here. So today we are going to be talking about growing your travel agency brand authority through third-party marketing. This is what we're going to get into reviews, finding those evangelists and making it easier for them to promote your brand. So we're going to get into that. I hope that you have some experience with requesting referrals or adding testimonials to your marketing. If you don't, that's okay. But if you do, I will probably have a couple of pop quizzes throughout. You want to participate? Uh, so anyway, getting started, I love going over to the chat, hearing where you're watching from, joining me live from, and love welcoming people back who I've seen over and over again, as well as if there's anything that you just, I will admit that sometimes I meander, and sometimes I really get passionate about a topic. In place of a big amen, if you agree with me, we here at our Travel Marketeering Saturday sessions, we give a big TM for travel marketeering. So, love to see some TMs. It helps me know that I'm resonating, that you are feeling the energy this Saturday morning. So I hope to see that. But let's pop over the chat and see what's going on out there. Kara is saying nice art in the background. Kara, I am in my garage, okay? I have a wall that we painted, but it's just this this sapphire purple color. And we ordered some peel and stick wallpaper to just stick up there. Little did I know that in my garage, the temperature changes because it's not insulated. Uh, it's causing it to peel. So I'm glad you love it, but I have a feeling that it's not going to make it much longer because it looks like I'm remodeling a Victorian house. Anyway, thank you, Kara. Love having you here. Catherine, good morning back at you. Amanda, good to see you from Charlotte again. So good to see you. Althea, oh, good morning from Ohio and happy TM, everyone. See, Althea knows. Matthew, good morning, all, also from Ohio. Uh, Amanda's jumping in with a happy TM, everyone. Jennifer, good morning, TM. Marcy, good morning from Texas. Happy TM, everyone. Rebecca, good morning, everyone. Happy TM. I like this greeting, happy TM. Uh, Kristen, good morning, all TM. Rocky, good to see you. Good morning, everyone from North Carolina. Kristen, watching from South Florida. Uh, uh, Maricar, good morning from Cali. Okay, so I realize that it's very early for you on the West Coast. I appreciate you being here. I have had I'm taking requests for a later show on Saturdays, but guys, I'm doing this because I love to talk about marketing. So I'm giving up my Saturday to help you in your travel marketing journey. But maybe we could do it a little bit later. Carla said, good morning from snowy Wisconsin. Carla, I hope you enjoyed the snow because you chose to live there. And after doing our roadshow tour in January and getting up to Minnesota and seeing what looked like 20 feet of snow, more power to y'all. Paul, good morning and happy TM from Fort Worth. Good to see you, Paul. Teresa, Alabama, and ready to learn TM. Laura, good TM from Kansas City. Laura, always good to see you. Teresa, we appreciate you. Oh, well, I appreciate you right back. All right, keep the questions coming. Like I said, I love the questions and I love to cater these sessions to you. The only thing I ask is today we're going to be talking about third-party marketing, referral marketing, really getting that going, creating that system. So if you want to talk about direct mail or anything else, I don't mind the question, but if you could go over to our private Facebook group, if you're not a member of that, go to Facebook and search Travel Marketeers, not Travel Marketeering. Search Travel Marketeers, and you can join our private Facebook group. Ask the question there, and please tag me in it because I am notorious for not seeing the messages. We got a lot of Facebook pages and groups that I manage, so please ask your question there. Either me or Andrea, the fabulous Andrea on my team, she will jump in. So you will see her pop in from time to time. I'm sure you see her promoting the travel marketing session. So love Drea, love her mad marketing knowledge, and I'm gonna see if we can get her to join us one Saturday. I don't know. Maybe I should give you her email address and say, please send her emails. That might be mean. Anyway, all right, let's tuck right in. All right, I hope you guys can see that okay. So, like I said, we're going to talk about growing your travel agency brand authority through third-party marketing. So, this is all about building your credibility, uh, and more importantly, signaling that credibility. So there's being a credible, trustworthy agency with high integrity, which is fantastic. I hope you all strive to be that in your business, and I'm sure you do. But are you leveraging the things that you have done to establish that credibility? Are you signaling that to people who have never worked with you before? I had an interesting conversation this week. We had an accelerator in our office, and that's a 5-day course for people who are just getting started, or maybe they've been doing it for a while, but they want to do a reboot on their business. So it's very intensive. And I got to join them. I was in Montreal again, more snow. I was in Montreal this week, but I was able to join them the second half of the week, and they were in it. Many of them, and last week's session we talked about websites and building your website. So many of them were sitting on building their website, and I'm going to tell you that nothing really gets me irritated than somebody saying, I'm working on my website. I haven't published yet. I'm working on it. Oh my gosh, it takes so long for, once you publish for Google to crawl your site, for you to be discoverable. So I'm like, just publish a one-page website. You can do that super fast with a tool like ours, Sites. You can do it in a day. You could have your website published, especially a one-page website. You could have that done in a couple of hours. Um, but to me, it's so important to claim your domain and park your identity, your home on the web. It's so important to me that you do that. And it should be important to you. Sorry, I'm making it like all of your websites are feeding me. But I'm very passionate about good marketeering. So, so I was talking about it. I was like, you need to do it because it's not only about your discoverability with potential new clients, but it's also the way that, maybe you are getting started and you reach out to a supplier and you say, "Hey, I want to build my business around you. I want to establish a relationship with you. So can we meet up? Can we schedule a meeting? Can we sync up?" I guarantee you that they're searching the web to find you. They're looking at your website if they know, say, your email address. And even if you only have a one-page website, they at least can see that you're existing on the web. It is a huge signal. And for them, they're investing their time in you. If they don't see that you have even gone live, then they understand that they'll still want to meet with you. They'll still want to talk to you, but they'll understand that you're further away from actually being able to do business with them. And sometimes it's just a subconscious thing. They just kind of categorize you in this place of getting started. So I said this, and then I was talking to one of our members, Harry, and he said, "Funny you say that," which I hadn't even thought about this, but it totally makes sense. He was trying to register with a supplier, and this particular supplier required you on their online form to put your website, your domain. It was a required field. So he could not register with that supplier without the website. So, uh, I think I just went on a tangent about hit publish, and this would be the first step in establishing your credibility. It's not using third party. It's definitely you're in control here, but without a website live, I yeah, we got to start there. However, I want to talk to you about third party marketing and building credibility through that because it is often overlooked, mainly because when you're getting started, you're thinking, well, I don't even have clients yet. Why would I even think about it? Aha, I'm going to say shame on you because if you're doing travel marketing, you're creating these systems. So creating systems around collecting referrals, getting those testimonials so you can have that social proof, that proof to the world that someone else likes you. Um, that is something super easy and can be something that you think about now. So the moment you have a client who is happy, who has traveled, everything works, and then it continues to work, and you continue to use that information to grow your trust score with the public, and it's just something that's gonna grow exponentially over time. All right, let's see here. Hold on a second. There's a lot of chat going on here. So Daisy said, "Good morning from Nebraska." Good morning to you. And let's see. Kara said, "TM, I feel like me making a website early is what gives me 50% plus of my clients finding me from Google now. Very good to hear. Thank you. I'm going to give you a big TM right back at you because I I know Kara. I know that she put a lot of attention to her website, but I will always give it up to Kara. And I don't remember when she went live with her website, but I remember her reaching out early on to just talk through her website. What's going on with it? She did a website throwdown with me, where she was highly vulnerable to share, here's my website, give me feedback. And she took that feedback and she enhanced her website. Now, whether she had reached out to me or not, that's not the issue here. She has taken the approach that her website is never finished. And that is key. Your website is never finished. If you think it's finished, if you keep building it and finishing it, you're going to have to keep having a project every once in a while to refresh your site. So Kara is constantly evolving her website. Super, super proud of her. And look at the love. Kara, Adana saying, Kara, that is wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Um, and, and Kara probably answered this question. Sorry, I have a lozenge. She said, my first few years, I had babies at home, so wasn't looking for huge growth of clients, but I wanted to get it out there for Google to find so that once I was ready, it wasn't a holdback. I love that. Um, let's see. Oh, and then if you want to look at Kara's website, she's dropped it in because Donna asked, go to experienceculturetravel.com. Um, Really, really, I love her website. I love what she's done. Please subscribe to her newsletter. I know she won't mind. Don't directly copy what she's doing, but copy the intention because I love her site. I love her emails. She keeps everybody engaged. And I love, gosh, Carrie, you are getting some love on your website. And let's see here. Let's see, I'm gonna just for a minute before we j jump into my slides. I want to continue with this here. We've got some good chat going on. I love some good chat. Um, Matthew said, I started my website a few weeks back with a simple contact me here, followed by under construction. Matthew, this is so wonderful. Um, I have been working a few times a week to add and maintain the different pages dedicated to the brands I wish to promote, always editing. You know what, Matthew, I'm going to steal that. Your website's never finished, is what I was saying, which is kind of a negative, right? Like, oh, I'm never going to be finished with my website. Always editing is a much better phrase. So, Matthew, I am going to use that. Awesome. Um, and Rocky. It's cool that we're talking about websites. I've been working on building a new website with Worldvia Sites. Plug for our sites tool. My current one is doing good, but I'm enjoying the chance at a refresh while I wait for my current contract to expire. Okay, the contract for your existing website. Um, so I love that Rocky is doing this. I know Rocky. Hi, Rocky. Uh, so he's been in business, so he's had a website, and he's moved over to our website platform called Sites. And it's a shameless plug, but I'm going to tell you, I have been working in the base platform of Sites for many, many years, and we have pulled this tool into our world and taken it to another level. So I love the nuts and bolts of sites because it's super easy for someone who knows nothing about building a website. You cannot break it. How do you like that? You cannot break it. Um, Easy to make it look beautiful, easy to start with something that's already built. We have a bunch of preloaded templates that you can use, or you can customize it to the nth degree. Or if you are so fancy and you've got custom code or you are a coder, a designer, HTML designer, you can do that as well. So anyway, big plug there. Glad to see that you are working in there. And the other thing I'd love about what Rocky is saying here is he's he's using this as a refresh opportunity. So he entered in an agreement with another company. He saw an opportunity to build his site somewhere else, and he's got that contract. So the contract thing is an interesting statement, and I just want to acknowledge it for a minute because you know it's going to end, and you're cool with that. You were going to make the move anyway. But now you get to have some creative thinking around designing your new website while you have your existing website up. So you're not in a race to go live to make sure you claim that space on the web. You've already got it. And I think that's a really cool place to be. And after you publish a website, so when Rocky moves over to sites and he publishes his website, the great thing is he can make little tweaks, he can make big tweaks. They don't go live until he publishes those. So you can just constantly be editing. And I think that's a beautiful thing. But I could sit and chit chat with you guys for a long time. We know this, but I do want to talk about referrals and third party. I really want to get into that. So let's tuck in. Uh, so so let's talk about Facebook groups. This is a common uh, piece of advice that I would say loads of travel marketing gurus talk about, and I'm going to tell you that I believe in Facebook groups. I do, but I definitely have an opinion on it. And so I want to share that with you. If you have a Facebook group right now that you use as a part of your marketing, tell us about it. Drop it in the chat. I'd like to dig in if you guys are leveraging this. But let's talk about the Facebook groups right now. So with Facebook groups, you can attract travelers. You can create a group for travel enthusiasts. You can share valuable content and tips. Okay, pretty obvious. You can do that on social media anyway, right? But as far as sharing valuable content and tips, but the creating a group of travel enthusiasts, you become the facilitator of the conversation. That is really where I see the benefit in a Facebook group is this is now your home for it can be a private conversation. Obviously, you can have a private Facebook group, and it's a little more of a community builder. And what is a beautiful thing is when it takes a little while to get it up and running, but once it's going and people understand that this is the home of talking about um, uh, uh, culture awareness travel Kara, I'm trying to sum that up in a phrase, but if they know it's the home for this particular topic, then they start talking amongst themselves, and that energy just grows over time, and that energy becomes it feeds you, it gives you energy, it's your tribe, it's 100% your tribe. um and it's your way to market to people who are already in your family versus when you're marketing to the public through social media, that's just everybody. So use the everybody model to get people to be aware of you. Once they are aware of you, then invite them into your group, invite them into your inner sanctum, and really nurture that relationship. Uh, the other thing I love about the Facebook groups is they've created a lot of engagement tools that you can use. It's very easy to set up a group, very much like you set up a page. It's one of the options to create something new within Facebook. But they give you a lot of guidance. You can have badges for conversation starters and top contributors, which makes people feel more engaged if there's something that acknowledges their contributions. Um, you can run polls, you can do Q&A sessions. Yes, I want you to go live on Instagram. I want you to go live on Facebook. Uh, But if you go live in your Facebook group, that is your community. That's not the wide open space. And you can have some really cool conversations and intimate conversations with your tribe. So I really love that. And you start to get people sharing photos, sharing stories, and if you are creating these travel with me groups, which are very, very lucrative and I'd say extremely fun. From what I hear, uh, people start with just a few cabins, say on a cruise, or maybe half of a coach on a tour, and then they end up with bunches of cabins. They take over a whole coach or two. I have seen that too. And these become not only ways to build and grow your business, but they also become ways for these business owners, these travel agency owners, to build their community, and it's something that they look forward to as well. So there's marketing groups and having that as a part of your mix, it's huge. So that we should talk about at another time. But what I want to tell you about Facebook groups, and I hear the chat is popping. If you hear that, that's chat popping over there. I'm gonna go over to the chat in just a moment, but I know you guys are talking amongst yourself too. I want to talk about Facebook groups. If you are not doing, you have not secured your public social handles, then do that first. Do that first. Start to get to a place where you're pushing out content on a regular basis. Now, what your cadence might be, I would recommend that you post something at least every day. I think there's a rule, and I've seen it work over and over again. Post 4 times a day on all platforms and go live once a day. You don't have to go live for an hour or 90 minutes, but you can go live for a few minutes, and it can grow over time. But that has helped a lot of online focused entrepreneurs get success in building their community. It takes a while before you start to get that traction, but that consistency and that opening the door up to the world, that right there it starts to get traction, and once it does, then it grows exponentially. So that would be great. And I don't believe me, I don't expect you to go live to post 4 times a day and go live once a day. However, you need to have some kind of consistency with posting on your social media channels, because once you go to a Facebook group, okay, you're gated there. Once you go to a Facebook group, you have to be able to feed that Facebook group as well. So you have to be able to create content. You have to be able to at least check in once a week. And then as your group starts to grow, it's probably going to be more. Now, if you get the group talking, then maybe you don't have to participate as much. But in the early days, it's very, very hard to lift a Facebook group if you're already struggling to lift your social media. And when I say lift your social media, I'm not saying necessarily that you're getting the traction that you want, but that you're actually uh, showing up with content. So I just want to put that out there because I hear people say, I want to create a Facebook group. That's going to be my social media strategy. That is a component and it's another layer to your social media strategy, but make sure that you are on social because that's how people are going to discover you. And then that's how they're gonna move into your group. And I would also caution you on creating multiple groups. So I have also heard people who work in, let's say, they have cruise and they have cruise and all inclusive. So for the ones, oops, I'm messing with my screens here. For the ones that have both, uh, they've said, I want to create a Facebook group for my cruise. I want to create a Facebook group for my own all inclusive. So the thing with that is that if you're already struggling to do your social or you're struggling with one Facebook group, do not add another one yet because it's not a part of your process. It's not something that you're doing well, so why would you stretch yourself even further? And not only are you going to give your audience a bad experience, but you're carrying around additional stress. And as an entrepreneur, you don't need to carry around that stress. So I just want you to think about what would make sense if it's about just getting closer to Kara. Like I want to be connected to Kara. I want to have a more direct conversation, a more intimate conversation. I'm in the fold. I love what she's doing. I want more Kara, right? I that create that Facebook group around what your central theme is. And then as it grows, maybe you need to have like a subgroup for this, a subgroup for that. You can definitely do it. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying don't do it until you're good at this and you can contribute to the Facebook group in a meaningful way, because you want to have those meaningful experiences. Now, a caveat to my little advice here is that it makes a lot of sense when you start to have these travel with me groups and you are connected to these groups. It makes a lot of sense to create private Facebook groups for these groups. So I know one of our members, she does, I want to say it's four. I think she's the one it really stuck in my head that she does it quarterly. So she does her trips, she does these travel with me groups quarterly. And for the most part, she is seeing people return year after year to travel with that same group. So she has one in the spring, one in the fall, one in the summer, or one in the summer, one in the fall, one in the winter. Now, sometimes they skip. Sometimes they move to they want to travel. They want to join another trip. But for the most part, there is this group of people that they've built a community over time. So having a Facebook group for them is fantastic because it's a way for them to continue the magic that they experienced on this trip and continue to build the bonds. And that tribe that now this agent has multiple tribes. That tribe is growing and nurturing itself. And then when she is ready to say, okay, next year we're going to go here, or where would you like to go? Creating a poll to get the engagement, right? Um, she's got that group to go to, so she's not marketing cold. It's more of sharing with friends. Here's what we're going to do. Do you want to join? So I that right there is magic. So I would definitely do that. Now, is that Facebook group going to grow to hundreds of people? No, it's not, and that's okay. The people who have joined it don't want that. But for this agent, that is that's gold. I mean, she's her groups are growing without her having to find new people to join the group. This this is why this fits in this conversation is this Facebook group is a third party platform. It's outside of us. So the group that you're nurturing in these Facebook groups, they are evangelists. They are they're talking to their friends and they're saying, "Oh, I was just in one of the groups I belong to. I travel with this group, right? And they we go on a trip once a year. It's really cool, but the support I get, I'm what's my motivation? I'm acting here. No, I'm just saying, think about how powerful that conversation is when somebody outside of your audience is hearing that there's this club, this fun club of like-minded people that enjoy their company and they get to explore and do these different adventures. That's really powerful. That is a way to communicate that people like you, like your business, like your service, and that it's something that that's what I'm buying. I want to do the travel, but I also want to be in this little club. It sends little signals to the world, and you might belong to some of these groups. You might almost like a country club that is exclusive to get into. You might have had to go to a seminar to be able to get access to the group. Um, while that probably was a barrier for you to overcome or a hurdle for you to overcome, it made you appreciate being in that group. So so it's more meaningful when you're in that group. So there's loads of ways that you can leverage um, that Facebook community to signal that that you're that you're a credible business and that you are someone that they should be doing business with. So take advantage of it. But like I said, keep it keep it in your again in the back of your mind if you're not at the place where you're able to add content to your social. I firmly believe that if you cut off or if you make it hard for people to discover you, same thing with not having a website up. If you make it hard for people to discover you, you're never going to be able to sustain these additional efforts that are very, very good for your business. They're good for business, but it's very, very hard for you to do it if you can't get that baseline taken care of. Okay, I there's a lot of chat, so I'm gonna pop over here, and I'm gonna just because you guys are talking to yourselves, and I love that. So, folks who are watching on demand, so glad you're here, but come and join us live because uh, talk about community helping each other out. Here's our travel marketeers are helping each other out. Um, and Teresa says on Matthew's statement, she says, I have been overwhelmed because I know nothing about building a website because when it comes to anything technical, my brain don't work. Love it, Teresa. And you know what? It's okay. There are many of you out there in the world. I hold on to my statement earlier unless you're coding your website from scratch, you cannot break your website in so many platforms. Okay. So, and the other thing I love about digital is if you make a mistake or you want to change something, you can do it like that. So all travel marketeers unite, and send Teresa, this vibe and this energy and give her the confidence to start playing in her website. I love it. Let's see here. Man, there's so much going on. Uh, okay. Guys, I just need to like stop talking? And I think, you know what, we might need to just turn this from a webinar style to a meeting so everybody can be on camera at 8:30 in the morning on a Saturday uh, and uh, and share because you guys are sharing like crazy. Um, oh, Rocky is sharing a Facebook group in the chat. Let's see. Kara said, I have a Facebook group, but I am not leveraging it well. It seems to take so much time to garner any kind of traction with it and no way to schedule posts in advance. That's not true. That's not true. Kara, you can schedule posts in advance in a Facebook group. I do it all the time. Our team does it all the time. So, when you go to do a post in your Facebook group, you have an option, and I'm trying to recall where it is. You, I think it's a little calendar, in the post itself. And then there's a whole section in the Meta Business platform where you can see all your scheduled posts for your Facebook group. So, I say Meta Business, sorry, not Meta Business, because it's within the admin section of the Facebook group. So please look into that. But I also want to say don't get discouraged because it does take some time. You have to you have to keep throwing out that content, and just keep it alive. So the people who have subscribed to your group, they're seeing content come through from the group. You don't give up on it. It's the same with social media. You just have to be consistent in putting content out, and it will happen. But just like with any marketing, you need to figure out what your audience wants. And in a Facebook group, it's very much like having a conversation with a group of friends. You can talk about something, and it doesn't get an intense conversation started. But then you might say something really random like, I love frozen Cokes. And then all of a sudden, people are asking, what is a frozen Coke? Oh, blah, blah. I love it when I go to the movie theater. Oh, da, 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 da. Uh, it's just like that. So think about it. If you think about it that way, it also changes somewhat. It changes your perspective on what type of content you put into that group. So if I post something like uh, I just booked. So that's really I love that advisors are posting this content on social media. They're doing a post on a regular basis saying just booked, and then they highlight something that they booked to garner some attention and to maybe get some other inquiries on that particular type of trip. So I love that. That content is great, I think, on the public social. But when we talk about the group, you could do something very similar, but maybe it's more of a very casual video that you say, hey, party people, whatever the name of your group is, party people is going to be my example. Hey, party people, I have to tell you about this trip I booked for somebody. Maybe they're in the group, so you're okay with calling them out, or maybe you don't want to. But this is where you could say something like, and you could write this as well, but any kind of engaging content like a video is what I would recommend here. But say something like, I booked this trip, and what I found fascinating in doing the research, because as you know, I like to research everything, um, but I like to research everything. And then I found out there's this special festival that does this, and it's going on at the time that they're going, which is August, which is so amazing that they didn't even know about this thing. I didn't know about this thing, and now they're going to get to go. Boom, you brought me into the excitement of travel and your passion for travel. Because I think there are a lot of advisors who don't get that passionate about things and they don't look at their experience, whether it's like I've personally experienced this festival or I've gathered this information. Maybe I had a client that asked me they wanted to go when this festival was going on. But there's a lot of advisors who don't share that experience and I think they're missing a huge they're missing out on a huge opportunity to signal that they are passionate about what they do, and there is a level of love that everyone could potentially have an opportunity to participate in. So that type of content right there, I think that works really good in a Facebook group. And if you have Facebook groups that are, if you have a group that's based on a type of travel, like say you specialize in families with a family member who has disabilities, maybe it's a specific disability, right? Um, you can make the Facebook group about sharing things that are challenges with a family traveling with that or sharing great ideas. Like here's I often see this with theme park travel where it's I've got young kids in my family and we're not going to spend a fortune on theme park food. So here are the snacks I buy. And here is what I put in my Instacart for here's my Instacart order so you can copy it too and make it easy for you to get food that is ready to go, ready to rock for your theme park visit. Um, that's content that you could put on your site, obviously, as a blog. You can make social posts around it, but sharing that kind of information within the group is really helpful. So the group not only becomes is a community, but it's a place where you get some expertise that is I don't even have to buy a travel with you to get the expertise. So that's another way to grow the group. So hang in there, hang in there. Let's see here. Gosh, you guys, I love let's see. Let's see. Sorry, there's I'm loving this, you guys. I love this. This is so cool. All right. Kara said, I just now figured out how to out a schedule plan for scheduling my Facebook page and Instagram posts. I can't do group posts daily or even multiple times a week. My mind can't do that. Haha. So, Kara, again, you can schedule those, and I would put that into the same mix. If you're already scheduling in Facebook and Instagram, you can schedule something for your group. Now, obviously, with any kind of conversation that's happening in your group, you're not going to be able to schedule your responses within those threads, but you can create conversation starters. So please do that. Let's see. And Laura, let's see. I have a dead group. With plans on how to revise. I love that. It takes a lot of time, which I don't have right now. It's on my list for April, planning on focusing only on luxury Europe in that group. I think that's beautiful. That totally makes sense. And guys, you create a group and it goes dead as Laura is calling hers out as. Um, you can always set aside time to work on it later. And with all of your marketeering, tackle one thing at a time. Do what, say this Sunday, I'm going to publish that one page website, and do that. Get it out there, get it done. Don't worry about I've got to write blogs, I've got to do social media, I've got to create a Facebook group. Don't put all that on you. Not acceptable, not healthy. That is a path to frustration. And what will cause you to stop doing what you love doing, what you want to be doing? That's frustration. So don't do it to yourself. And please heed my warning on this because I have sat in that kind of creative procrastination mode so many times. And it's because I have too many things swirling around like ghosts in the haunted mansion, okay? And I can't focus. Just how do you eat that elephant? One bite at a time or one slice at a time? I don't know. I don't plan on eating an elephant, but I'm just saying, do that for yourself. Laura, I love that you're saying April is when you're going to tackle it. And for Laura, if you've been watching these shows, she's been a part of them a lot of times. So we've been talking a lot about what she's doing here. And I love the idea. Her ideal client, her customer avatar is an executive mom who wants to travel with their family. In particular, they want to go to Europe and budget is not really an issue for them. They just don't want the hassle. Laura, I am paraphrasing, but I'm just saying she has she has clearly identified who her customer is going to be, who she wants it to be. So with that, think about what this group is going to look like. A bunch of executive moms who can relate to probably can relate to each other's experiences. They might get more out of this group than just knowledge about luxury European travel, right? And that is where the magic is, being that connector, the person that brings people together. Because at the end of the day, you brought them together in your house. Now, you might be renting that house from Facebook, but you brought them together in your house. All right, we're gonna keep on flowing because I want to get into more of the third party leveraging the reviews and making sure that we keep this conversation going, but keep on chatting in the group. I love that you're doing this. So let's talk about harnessing referrals. So one, make those happy clients, which I know you want to do. If someone says, I do not want happy clients, get out of this business because you are creating a bad reputation, and that is something that we do not want to have, right? So I think everybody wants to have happy clients, um, and providing exceptional service. Isn't that obvious, right? You want to do that. But let me tell you, I have but part of our company story is we in our family we had a group of retail agencies, so storefronts, the brick and mortar stores. And these stores have been in business for a long time. And the agents there, they were extraordinary. If you've heard me talk about them, I have an interesting origin story with them where they didn't like me, but then eventually I won them over. But that was because I was coming in hot. They didn't like my newfangled marketing ways. But they were really good. They are really good. They're still selling travel and they're members of our network now. But during the pandemic, we had to close the stores down. Now, those who are still in business and thriving, these are not the people I'm talking about. But occasionally, maybe we had an agent that joined us and they were going to learn the ropes from our existing agents. Again, these agents were top notch. These guys are excellent at what they do. But there would be a few agents that would come in and they would go through the motions of doing the things, selling the travel. Um, but there was a stark contrast between those agents who were succeeding and those who were really struggling. And when you looked at it, when you looked at the way they would communicate with their clients, or how organized they were, I mean, let's face it, being an advisor, you have to be organized. If you are not, not only are you going to feel that stress and that burden, but your clients will definitely feel it and probably not come back. So, providing exceptional service can sometimes get lost in the sauce of selling the travel. So I would just ask that, and I'm sure all of you provide excellent customer service, or you plan to if you're just getting started. But don't don't just bang away at it and have an approach that you're just going to tackle what comes and you're going to deal with it and whatever. Really take a moment to look at maybe some of the emails that you sent your client on preparing for their trip, or how much communication did you send? A bunch of just like one sentence emails? Did they have 75 emails for what should be a pretty easy trip to put together? That all contributes to somebody having a good experience or a bad experience with you. So now, so I'm sure you've experienced some of your clients being the people who are sending you like one question emails and a lot of them, or text messaging you or calling you left and right. Now you can't control that, but you can control the experience and be really good about communication, and being really organized, and also adding those little moments of what does Disney call it? They call it pixie dust, adding pixie dust. So where can you add pixie dust into your customer experience? One of those agents that I adore and who crushed it and is crushing it today, she did something that was so easy. It was so easy, but it was an extra step. So easy, but an extra step. And what she did was somebody who had booked a trip, and it was probably about 8 months out. So it's all hot and heavy in the beginning, right? You're getting all the details sorted, but then it's locked and loaded. So not really a lot of questions. She was very tight, had it very organized. And then I saw an email. I just happened to see this email. I saw an email that she sent that was at the midway point. So they still had a few months before the trip was going to happen. The client did. And then this agent sent an email, no other purpose in the world, other than to throw some pixie dust at it. And she just said, "Are you and your wife looking forward to this trip? I am thrilled for you both. I can't wait. Yeah, please let me know if you need anything. But I just want to let you know I'm so excited for you. And I can't wait to hear about it." So it was just like a nice little love message, thinking of you. And the client said, and I just happen to know the client. That's why I know about this email. Um, but the client was like, "That's so cool. I can't believe she did this. Why would she do this?" And I was like, "Okay, don't overanalyze it. You're feeling good and you're excited about this trip. So just go with it." But that little bit of magic goes a long way. Now, of course, they could have problems. They could have problems on a trip, but let's not assume they're going to have problems. Let's just keep all the love and that energy that they had when they first made the decision to buy. Let's do things to make it happen. I've even seen that with people sending little swag kits to their clients. So when they're traveling, maybe there's some marketing going on while they're traveling. They don't have to, but it just makes them feel good about purchasing with the advisor. So make sure you have happy clients. Once you get those happy clients, ask for referrals and don't be scared about it. And I want you to think about, some if you have maybe you've never worked with a travel advisor. Okay, so you don't even have any point of reference on how a travel advisor asks for referrals. But I know you have been in an Uber, a Lyft, and the person says, "I hope you had a great time. I would really appreciate a 5-star rating. It really helps me out." And maybe they tell you a little bit about their story. Um, so I'm sure you've had that, or you've gone into a small business in your town, and you say, "Oh my gosh, this baklava is amazing," and the owner's like, "Could you please write a Google review for us? It would mean the world to me." That kind of thing. I'm sure you've experienced it, so don't be an outlier. Don't wait for somebody to want to do it. Put it out there. Ask for those referrals and make that a part of your process. Now, you can do that through, um, you can have it systematized. So you can say, maybe in your CRM, you make a task for 2 weeks after the client comes back from a trip. To maybe you're going to maybe you have an email that's already set up, or I love this. I don't know how you feel about it, but I don't like my email. I get way too much email just in life. I get a lot of emails. So those people who are in the know that text is best for me. I imagine there's quite a few people who feel the same way. So maybe you put a task in there to make a decision to either email them or text message them, and send them a link to leave a review. While I don't have that information right here, and plus I think it's a big string for me to be able to send. If you just search, "How do I send a link to my customer to leave me a Google review?" I know you'll find it. It's quite easy. There's a way to get it. So the link that you send the client, whether it's via text message or via email, is going to open up, as long as they're logged into Google. If not, it will prompt them to log in. It'll open up leaving a review. So putting the star rating and leaving a review. That is super easy. So think about it. I get an email. I am going to click on it, and I don't have to search. Don't say, "Oh, search my company name," and then go to the bottom right and click on leave a review. Don't do that. That I'm not going to do that. I love you. I'm not going to do that. Okay. But click this one link and do a star rating and say, "I loved my trip." I will do that for you. I will do anything for love, but I won't do the looking for where I need to leave this review. Now, another another link that you can provide them is if you're a member of our network and you have Agent Profiler, and you want to get a testimonial. There's a link that you can get to again open up the leave a review on Agent Profiler. So make sure you have all these links at the ready. If you build an email template where you have them, that's excellent. I would say, here's my advice for the ask. Make it super personal and super easy. Now you can still template this out to where it's the same message, but it needs to be something like, please, I'm so glad that you had a great time on your trip. Assume that they did, okay? And don't just really assume that they did, because even saying I hope you had a good time already sounds like you're disconnected from your client. So assume that they had a good time. Now you know the people who did not have a good time, so be aware of that, but assume that they had a good time, sorry, and then say, please help me grow my business by helping me find more amazing clients like you. You just gave me a compliment. You think I'm going to give you a compliment now? Yeah, you bet. I will definitely do that. So, it doesn't have to be War and Peace. Do not write a ton of text on this email or this text message. Make it short and sweet and give me the link. Click here to leave the review and make that very easy for them to do it. Now, once you do it, you can you can reward those referrals. Now, I'm not a fan, and there are some platforms, and I think Google is one of them, where soliciting reviews. Actually, it's Amazon, so I'm getting that wrong. I think Google doesn't have these rules in place, but incentivizing referrals by saying if you leave a referral, or a testimonial, I'm gonna give you a $5 gift card or something like that. I'm not a big fan of that, and I don't know why that is. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not a fan of it. So when I say I'm not a fan of it, I mean, it's not like you would be doing wrong by offering that. I just feel like if, especially in this space, if I have given you great service, you had an experience of a lifetime, or even just something that just created a lot of joy. I don't need to bait you with a prize, but I do love when a client has left you a review that's powerful, sending them a thank you, a gift, and it could be a Starbucks a gift card. It could even just be a handwritten note. Those are beautiful things too. I think that is that extra little special touch that you can do, and it's not it can be systematized. Maybe you check your reviews once a month, and you see that someone left you one. Most of the time, you're getting a notification that they've left you a review, so you can do it then. But it's something that I think is it's great goodwill, and great way to just deepen that relationship. And it's also seeding uh, opportunities for future work with that client. So, not to mention the credibility, that trust score going up, because people who are discovering you can find you and see that other people like you, and what do other people say about you? I mean, that's huge. But doing that little thank you, whether it's a handwritten note or it's a little nominal value gift, I don't know. It goes pretty far. So I would definitely factor that in, but I would say most people, where they are missing the opportunity is they're not systematically asking for those referrals, and they're not making it easy. Now, having that link and having that little message like, help me find amazing clients like you, um, that's very easy. If you meet them where they're at, if you know that, going back to Laura's clients, she probably has some that want to be communicated with text messages. They're so busy and their inbox is a hot mess. Or she might have clients who the only time they plug into communications is when they're at work. So email is best for them. But if you know that somebody is on the go, text messaging is probably best. I think it's pretty safe. And think about what you might do when you're waiting at the airport to board a flight. I get a text message, or I have gotten a text message, and I know I'm going to come back to it. And it says, click here to help me find more amazing clients like you, right? Um, that I will do that in a heartbeat. When I don't want to dig into a big project, I open up my laptop, I've got my phone handy, I'm waiting to board, and I'm like, oh, sure, blah, blah, blah. Had an amazing time. I rekindled my love with my magnificent other who we had drifted apart, and now we've rekindled the flame of love. Maybe that's the review they leave. I don't know. So happy clients, ask for referrals and reward those referrals. So you can offer something to encourage those referrals, and that's okay. But I'm not as big a fan of that as I am the the thank you acknowledgement. So play with that and see what works for you. I want to go over and see what we've got going on in the chat here. Let's see here. We've got I've got it. There's been so much chat. I'm gonna have to skip a little bit here. Um, this is I'm sorry. Hold on a second. I definitely have to come back to one of these. Um, oh, let's see here. My website is still up on your slide screen. Um, I don't know what you're talking about, Kara. Sorry. Let's see here. Um, let's see. Hold on. I'm actually reading these and I'm trying to figure out because you guys are talking to yourselves. I love it. Let's see. Catherine said, would you send both links or choose one? And Catherine, I'm so glad you asked this question because I wanted to make sure that I talked about this. So, no, don't send both. Don't send your agent profiler and Google reviews or even your Facebook review. That's another review or testimonial you can ask for. Um, I would pick one. Make it super easy. Don't try to get them to do it in both places. Um, and how I would recommend you do this is rotate them. So if you've got Agent Profiler and you've got Google Reviews is going to help with that discoverability in the wider world of online. So that to me is extremely important. So I want to make sure that that's signaling, but then I also want it on travelleaders.com. And in some cases, if you don't, if you guys know, if you're in Agent Profiler, then you know about Super Agent. That's another way to boost your discoverability within travelleaders.com. So you need reviews for that. You need the testimonials for that. Um, so I want to make sure that I'm kind of going back and forth. So if it depends on how many clients you have traveling at any given time, but you could do a if you've got maybe a couple people traveling each month, maybe this month I do Google, and then next month I do Agent Profiler. If it's not that frequent, I would just alternate back and forth. For this client, I'm gonna send the Google link. For this client, I'm gonna send the Agent Profiler link. And if you want to do all three, including Facebook, which I think is helpful, although I would caution Facebook from a discoverability standpoint. There's definitely engagement is dropping on Facebook. So I still Google is pretty it's weighted more heavily in my opinion. So that's more important to me than Facebook, and then Agent Profiler is important to the mix. So I do it depending on how much interest you're getting on Facebook and how many people you hear are searching for validating you through Facebook. Make that decision. If you have Agent Profiler and you have obviously your Google listing, then those are where I would put my energy. But pick one, make it super easy for them. Let's see here. You guys, I love this. And Kara, she's chiming in here. She said, "I only send a link to Google reviews because that is the most important one for me, as want to be visible on Google, and those help a lot. Yes. Think about it. Think about the restaurant that you want to try. You search, and while their website pops up on Google, you look at that little Google business panel right there, and you see photos, you see map, you see the links to their website, and then you see their star rating. So yeah, that is super helpful. Teresa said, I like the idea of a swag kit once they are fully booked and closer to vacation. Would you need permission early on to mail them a kit? I also think that helps with nurturing the relationship, which can in turn lead to a positive referral. Would you need permission early on to mail them a kit? No, you don't need permission. They are a client of yours. So you can, with clients, you can email them, you can mail them. You obviously would have their address if they have booked with you. So you don't need their permission. It's a gift. It's a gift. And I've seen some really cute ones that cute swag kits that agency owners have put together. And I've seen them evolve over time. Like maybe in the beginning, it starts with a couple of luggage tags and a handwritten note, right? And then now it's ended up being a branded box that has a bunch of swag items in it. Or sometimes, depending on the trip, it could just be here's a bottle of wine like the one that you're going to get on this river cruise that you're going to go on. So I think you gauge what makes sense, what fits into it doesn't cause you to pay more than the client paid to work with you. So make sure it works out with your budget. But you can have a lot of fun with it. And what I love too is think about things that they can use on the trip, like luggage tags or like refillable water bottles, huge, huge, huge. Because then you never know when your piece of swag could end up in their social media posts. I'm just saying, it's an idea. All right. Let's see. Ed says here, let me see if I can figure this one out. Asking for reviews versus asking for referrals from friends as possible new customers. Ah, Ed, I I'm gonna talk about this in the way that I think you mean. Um, and because I've said something like this in building reviews, especially if you're just getting started. So, Ed, I'm gonna say uh, if you do not have clients, but you have friends that maybe have traveled with you or friends that can speak on behalf of how good you are um, with planning travel for someone. I have no trouble with you asking them for reviews to get you started. I just would make sure that you're asking people to speak truthfully about working with you in whatever capacity and let them know, hey, this will help me get started. And once you get started, it's not about asking your friends who could be future clients. It's about asking the people who are your clients. But sometimes with, say, Agent Profiler, you have to have, I want to say, 15 reviews. Um, so that can be hard in the beginning. So have some of your friends leave you reviews to just to get you started, because then over time, your clients and the exceptional service you provide will take over. Um, Let's see. Maria said, I may have missed this. Do you recommend private or public Facebook groups? I recommend private Facebook groups because I think your public Facebook page is where you show the world. Here's what I'm about. Here's what I love. Let me get you plugged into my business. Then your private Facebook group allows you to gatekeep that a little bit and you get to nurture this community, and then that also makes like when you do your Facebook lives within your group, you're talking to this group that you know. So that's my recommendation there. um let's see. Oh, I'm seeing Kara saying something. When I have my slide up, I've got her comment up. So let me see what I've done here. I always appreciate. Oh, I sure do. How do I get rid of that? I don't know. Thank you, Kara. See, I'm just promoting you, Kara. I don't know how I'm gonna fix that, but we just all get to see Kara's website. So thank you for letting me know about that. That's fantastic. You know what? I try to be fancy with my broadcasting technology, and then every time Kara says, "Oh, you're showing your messy desktop." I want you to know, Kara, that I now clear off my desktop on my computer every single day because and now it just looks like I'm so organized. But no, I've just thrown everything in a folder to make sure it's not visible because one time I went live and just shared my dirty desktop. Oh, bad, bad, bad. Let's see here. Let's see. Kara's got another comment here. She said, I send a handwritten thank you note to each client in that I ask for both a review as well as a referral and include a couple of business cards. I also send a welcome home email, but in that I only ask for a review and include the link to Google reviews. I also send a second email about a week later asking for for pictures from their trip, and if they haven't left a review, I remind them and include that link again. Beautiful, beautiful. And you know what? I've been blending reviews and referrals. So I apologize for that. When I get something in my head, I completely I go for it with full gusto. So asking for referrals and asking for reviews, two different things, and I completely blended the two. So asking for referrals re getting your previous clients to spread the word about you is exactly what I wanted to do. So, Kara, I am so glad that you got me on track. Look at me and my tangents. Um, Asking for referrals, uh, that is one where, yes, you can definitely incentivize ahead of time and say, hey, if you refer a client to me and they book, I'm going to give you XYZ. That works with so many different businesses. I still firmly believe that asking for the referral and making sure that you, in a review or referral, asking for that for your client is number one. If you've delivered amazing service, people will refer you. It's not going to be instantaneous, right? They're not going to have somebody on the tip of their tongue ready to connect with you. But over time, asking for those referrals, that does pay off. And you never know when it is. I always give the example of Thanksgiving. So many families are getting together at Thanksgiving. So many people are sharing what they did for the year. If you've done your job, you've delivered great service, and somebody at that table says, "Hey, uh, I saw that you went to Croatia. I've always wanted to go to Croatia. This year, we want to go to Portugal, right? Well, if you have delivered great service, then I know that that person is going to talk about what you did and how you delivered Croatia for them, and they're probably going to say, you know what? I bet they do Portugal, and I'm going to send them a text message right now. And are you okay with me giving them your email or your telephone number? I'm sure they'll reach out to you. That kind of referral golden. And here's what I would do. It's not the first referral, so it's not you're not saying, "Hey, I'm going to give you this reward if you give me the referral." But once you get the referral, maybe they don't even book with you. You just want to incentivize the fact that they gave you the referral. Then maybe that was worth a bottle of wine. Maybe it was worth more. Maybe it was worth inviting them to a lunch, right? You can take them out to lunch. Um, Reward that good behavior and it will pay dividends. So, yeah, Kara, thank you for getting me back on track, and thank you for giving us all what you do. Don is asking, what is Agent Profiler? Agent Profiler is an online profile on travelleaders.com. Our members have that as part of their membership. It's a free profile that they can put on travelleaders.com. It's a great way to showcase you and have multiple different bios that highlight the type of travel that you do. So it's a great lead generation add-on to your whole online presence. If you want to learn more about that, if you are a member, Donna, and I don't know if you are a member of World Via Travel Network, you can learn more about it in World Via Pro. And if you haven't joined yet, then you can learn a little bit about it on worldviatravelnetwork.com. So thank you for asking. Let's see. Man, there are so many conversations here. Um, all right, let's see. Let's see. Matthew said, "Can I add a bio to Agent Profiler that highlights the state where I live?" Yes, you can. You can have multiple bios on Agent Profiler. And the thing that I love about Agent Profiler is you can have multiple bios based on how you're trying to attract um, clients to you. Um, and when sorry, when you do that, then all of your base information, the boilerplate, the information that you set up, like your map and your testimonials and reviews, they all carry over to all those different profiles. So you're signaling that people like you and that you've got it going on, in addition to being able to create content that is very, very hyper focused on your niche. I hope that's helpful. Let's see here, Matthew. Very, very good. All right, let's see here. I'm going to go back to my content here, my presentation. So let's talk about the power of third-party validation. This is what we've been talking about here. Uh, uh, it builds trust. This third party, so even doing something, while it's not asking for reviews, even though you can do reviews on Facebook, I started this out talking about Facebook group. So you've got to understand that you're in an environment that's not yours. I mean, yes, you've created this community, but the person who is digesting content or being introduced to this content is being introduced to it on a neutral platform. So having your community, your tribe supporting you and people being able to experience that and touch and feel that, that is an endorsement. Subconsciously, that is an endorsement. So you want to take advantage of that. Obviously, things like Yelp, uh, Facebook, Google, all of those things, they're not that third party endorsing you, but it's the way that somebody receives that information. It is perceived as that is outside of you. So that is an unbiased source of information and validation. Um, by leveraging this, you are going to build trust. It's going to make it easier for people to decide to communicate to engage with you. It's going to increase your awareness. It's going to build your audience leveraging these third-party platforms. It's not only the platform. Again, it's not the platform. It's the people who are the audience who is also on that platform who is endorsing you within that platform. So, yes, I can put on my website a testimonial, and I highly recommend that you grab the really good testimonials that you have seen across these third-party platforms, or say a client has emailed you an endorsement. I would highly recommend that you pepper that throughout your website. Make sure you've got those little trust signals on your site that you've collected from various sources. Now, you might say, well, how can you do that if they have given permission, they've done it through Google, they haven't given me permission to put it on my website. So that is very true. So if you are in a conversation with someone and you say, "Hey, thank you so much for leaving me that review. I'd love to add that to my website. Is that okay with you?" That is a great practice. But sometimes you don't have communication with that client, except for when they're booking with you. It just depends, it all depends on the relationship. So the way that I like to approach that when I'm working on a website, and I'm talking about all types of websites that I've worked on, I try to make sure that I'm using their review and I'm not using anything that really um, identifies them. So what I will do is I'll make sure that in the testimonial or the clip of the testimonial that I'm grabbing, um, I make sure that it's neutral. It's not saying, "Oh, my husband Bob and my kid Stan, da 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 da." I try to make sure I don't use that type of information, but anything that's neutral and you can't identify the person, I use that. And then for the name, I will put their first name, Megan, and then I'll do their last name initial. And then if I can, if I've got it handy, then I will add, Fort Worth, Texas. And that's something that they can't really be identified. And it allows me to put that testimonial on my site and feel comfortable that I have. Now, they've given you a testimonial, they've given you a review. They don't mind that being public, but it does get kind of funky. You don't want to put something that is so personal and identifies that person and specifically unless they've given you that permission. So I hope that's helpful. I do it all the time, and I've never had an issue with it, and the benefit that you get from capturing those testimonials and leveraging, yes, they put it on Google. That's definitely going to serve me that's going to reach a wider audience than my site. But if that was such a great review, I don't want it missed on the people who have actually taken that step through the door and they've come into my website. So I don't want to miss out on that. Obviously, with all of this, driving sales is where we're at, and building that referral network, identify those people who will be the referrers, and engage with them and reward them and maintain the relationship. Thank them, and keep in mind that the people who are going to refer you it's not going to be instantaneous. It's going to be over time. So you just want to, you ask new clients who find you through, they don't come through an ad that you're doing. They just come through to your website. Talk to that person, ask them, "Hey, how did you hear about me?" "Oh, I ran into Mary at the salon and she was telling me this, that, and the other." And you're like, "Oh, is that Mary, Logan, whatever?" And yeah, 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 I love Mary. We go way back. Then, hit up Mary and say, "Thank you very much. I am sending you a gift card right now. Starbucks is on me. Thank you, Mary." So, build that referral network, and optimize your online review process. Make sure that you've got that Facebook page built. That Yelp, I'm glad you guys referenced Yelp. I think Yelp is very good. However, Yelp, um, you do need to make sure you will need a physical location for Yelp. Um, I believe that's still true. I actually haven't been in Yelp in quite a while, but any of these online review portals, you just want to make sure you claim them. You want to monitor them, keep that information up to date. If you have the ability to upload photos, keep that fresh. And big tip here. If someone leaves you an online review, wherever it is, yes, you can message them offline. That's great. But on all of the platforms, I'm thinking, you have the ability to respond. Now, you oftentimes see people respond when somebody's had a bad experience, right? And I love that. People can see how you work with someone by how you respond to them. So think carefully when you respond, especially if you're trying to fix a problem. Uh, People are reading that. And they're evaluating how you work with your clients. Now, thanking them publicly goes a long way. They get a message that you've done it. It feels good. So make sure that you respond. And measuring success, and constantly iterating. If you're requesting referrals, which I think you should, look for a 30% increase on that. That is good. That is good. Now, if you have zero referrals, then your first one is where you start at, right? But look for about a 30% increase in customer referrals. Um, on your star ratings, look for a 4.5 as an average. Why 4.5? Because 5 seems like you fudged the information. Think about it. Think about your Amazon purchase and when you were looking to see if something was legit. 5 seems dubious, and you're like, oh, they only had 3 reviews. 4.5 seems realistic. It's a thing. So look for that. And overall, look for growing your social media. Okay. Just look for the type of content that works for you and just constantly look for ways that you can connect with your audience. And oftentimes your audience on your public social media is not going to be your ideal client. You want to signal your ideal client, but you don't know who's going to resonate with your message and who's going to like your message. So find your tribe wherever they are and constantly measure it and ensure that you're growing. Ensure that you're growing. All right, so let's come back. We've got some chat. While I am looking at the chat and responding, I would love for you to say, what did we talk about? Drop it in the chat. What did we talk about today that you are going to take action on in the next week? I think that's oh so important, and I hope that you've been inspired to work on a few things. So let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. So Ed is uh, Ed is talking about he's got a question about agent profiler. Ed, you bring up a good quite just asking about Profiler. We could talk the whole session about Agent Profiler, and I think we should. But you're asking, if you have multiple profiles on Agent Profiler, how do I determine which profile files visitors see? They're going to find your profile based on what they're searching for. So the profile that matches what they're searching for is going to show up. Plus, if someone lands on your profile, there's ways for them to move to see other profiles that you have within that profile. So that is best if you join our Amy for her agent profiler workshops. She does a lot of them. So definitely check that out and learn little bit more about it. But I'm glad that you are looking into that. Marakar said, do we need to get their written permission to publish their reviews? I go back to what I was saying earlier. If you are wanting to quote some specifics that definitely identify them, then I would definitely, whether it was in writing or just verbally, you shouldn't be scared if if a client is recommending you or has left you a review. So it's how you use what you use and how you use it. So I'd be curious if you have something specific that someone has said about you that you think is something that they wouldn't want public. So I haven't run into that. Like I said, I shared with you how I handle reviews and testimonials, and I have definitely been very respectful of people's identities. So I've done it that way, and it's worked for me. Let's see. Oh, Rocky had to drop off because he had to meet with a potential client. I love it. I love it. Um, Let's see here. Let's see. Kara said she's going to start thinking about scheduling group posts and using AI to generate ideas. Yeah, that's a great idea. And Amanda said building the Facebook group and, of course, working on updating my website and publish it. Definitely. Rebecca, finishing my website. Please do. Althea said I'm going to work on starting a Facebook group. I may need help. But we got a thank you and a TM. And Maria said, figure out the name of my of the figure out the name and create posts for a Facebook group before creating a group so that I'm able to hit the ground running once it's active. Very good, Maria. I love it. I love it. Guys, I know we are at time. Thank you for joining. So excited that you guys have been a part in such a a robust chat. And just thanks for hanging out with me and working on your business. I love doing this, and I'm so glad that you guys are sharing your experiences. It's phenomenal. It's very rewarding for me. So I will be back next week for more travel marketeering. Love it, love it. If you haven't joined our private Facebook group, please do. And when you join, ask a question of the group. Let's get that chat going in there. Remember to search in Facebook Travel Marketeers, and you will find our group and ask to join it. And we're glad to have you. All right. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you next week. Take care, guys. Bye.